Matthew Esposito.
Present.
And so we have no absences, so we have a quorum to conduct business today. Matthew, could you read the Zoom statement into the record?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me 1 second. I'm just lagging on my YouTube here.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Tonight we have one public hearing on the agenda utilizing the Zoom webinar application. We will have the applicants joining us to present their application to the board and answer any questions. Following the presentation, we will individually call upon members of the public who have registered to speak regarding this application. Individuals will be promoted from an attendee to a panelist in order to voice their comments. For the record, there are 3 members of the public registered to speak on Planning Board job number 21-02A, Crossroads Shopping Center. In addition to being on Zoom tonight, this hearing is also being live streamed on the Town of Babylon YouTube channel. Following the presentation and public comments, the public hearing will be closed. The record for the matter shall be held open for a minimum of 7 days. As long as the record is open, any member of the public who did not register to participate in tonight's Zoom meeting can provide comments on the application by email or regular mail. These comments can be directed to Town of Babylon Planning Board at 200 East Sunrise Highway, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757, or to the email address planningcomments@townofbabylon.com. If you have any questions or require any additional information, please call the planning department at 631-957-3103.
Okay, thank you very much, Matthew Esposito, the Planning Board Liaison from the Planning Department. I'd like to now ask Richard Casey to read the legal statement
Yes,
into
Mr.
the
Chairman.
record,
Thank
giving
you.
authority to hold this Zoom meeting and hearing.
Yes, this planning board meeting is presented and taking place remotely in conformity with New York State Public Officers Law, New York State Open Meetings Law, and the executive orders of the governor of the state of New York.
Thank you. Planning Board Secretary Denise Graziano, could you read the statement regarding the veracity of testimony being provided at this public hearing?
Sure. The planning board shall have the right to rely on any information that is presented by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the planning board may determine that any approvals, building permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void.
Okay, thank you very much. Denise, could you call the public hearing?
Sure. Public hearing, site plan review, planning board job number 21-02A, Crossroads Shopping Center LLC, proposes to construct a 6,788 square foot, 2-story building for a municipal courthouse and offices, along with associated site improvements.
Okay, who is here on behalf of the applicant?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tom Dixon. I'm a partner with the firm Nelson and Pope Engineers and Surveyors, located at 70 Maxis Road in Melville, New York.
Okay, sir, could you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good evening. I'm here this evening representing Crossroads Shopping Center LLC on their application for a new municipal courthouse building located at 456 Albany Avenue in North Amityville. Here with me tonight is Mike Chiara, a partner with Nelson and Pope and the architect for the project, Joe Colucci, a senior associate with Nelson and Pope, and Jim Kaplan and George Norton from Crossroads Shopping Center LLC. The site is 41,550 square feet or 0.95 acres in area. It's situated at the north corner of Great Neck Road and Albany Avenue and the west corner of Floral Drive and Albany Avenue. The site has frontage on Great Neck Road, Albany Avenue, and Floral Drive. As you can see, the existing site is wooded and vacant. The proposed development consists of a 2-story building with 6,788 square feet on the first floor and 4,027 square feet on the second floor, totaling 10,815 square feet. And the building will be used as a municipal courthouse for the town of Babylon. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and closed on weekends. The site is zoned E-Business District. The proposed development complies with the bulk requirements with the exception of front yard setback. The required front yard setback is 45 feet and 8 feet is proposed on Great Neck Road and 10 feet is proposed on Albany Avenue. A variance for front yard setback is being requested from the ZBA. Vehicular access is proposed from an entrance on Great Neck Road, and this entrance would be a right-in and right-out only, and also a full access entrance on Floral Drive. We've received approval for the access from DPW on Great Neck Road. There's no access proposed along Albany Avenue frontage. Pedestrian access is also provided from both Albany Avenue and Great Neck Road via sidewalks that extend out to the public way. Parking is provided on site with a total of 60 stalls, including 4 accessible stalls. A 13-stall parking variance is being requested from the ZBA. A bike rack is also being proposed in accordance with the requirements from the town. The parking lot will be beautifully landscaped with a mixture of trees and shrubs. We're providing street trees along all the frontages, and building foundation shrubs are also proposed on the Great Neck Road and Albany Avenue sides. All landscaped areas will be provided with in-ground automatic irrigation. Along the north side, a 6-foot-high chain link fence with privacy slats is proposed adjacent to the residences. The entire north property line will be buffered with 6 to 7-foot-high evergreens consisting of a mix of eastern white pines and American hollies. A refuse enclosure with gates is proposed in the north corner of the site. It will consist of 6-foot-high solid PVC fence, and the enclosure will be screened with 6-foot-high arborvitae. Decorative street lighting will be provided. The lighting will be energy efficient LED fixtures, and all lighting will be dark sky compliant and shielded to prevent illumination on to adjacent properties or roadways. Public sewers are available to serve the development. The site is located in the Southwest Sewer District and will be connected to the sewer in Albany Avenue. Water service will be provided by the Suffolk County Water Authority from an existing main in Great Neck Road. Electric and natural gas are also available to service the development. Stormwater runoff will be contained on site, and there'll be no runoff to adjacent properties or roadways. The drainage system consists of inlets in the parking areas and underground dry wells. The building roof is fully contained and will be piped to the underground drainage system. During construction, a sedimentation and erosion control plan will be implemented, and all site improvements will be constructed in accordance with the Town of Babylon planning and development specs and details. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, I'll turn it over to Mike Chiara and he can present the building architecture.
Before we go any further, I want to ask you, you've received the memo from the Commissioner of Planning dated April 6th with a series of conditions, covenants, and restrictions. Have you had a chance to review this with your client? And do you have any concerns or issues that you'd like to bring to the board's attention?
Yes, we have, Mr. Chairman, and we've reviewed them with the applicant and we have no objections to the conditions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Who was next again?
Mike Chiara, the project architect.
Yes, Mr. Shara. Could you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, Michael Shara, that's spelled S-C-I-A-R-A. I'm with the firm Nelson and Pope, and our offices are located at 70 Maxis Road, Melville, New York, 11747.
Okay, could you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Well, good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Planning Board. My name, like I said, is Michael Shara. And I am not only a partner in the firm of Nelson and Pope, but I'm also the architect of record for the proposed application representing Crossroads Shopping Center. I'm here to discuss the proposed architecture of the building with you. The development of the building started over the course of several months. We worked closely with members of the town and the client to develop the architecture and the overall aesthetic of the building. We looked at several different possible building materials and massings for the building, ultimately deciding on what you see in front of you this evening. It should be stated that with the help of members of the town planning department, we have further refined the exterior design from the initial submission. The renderings that are in front of you tonight have been updated to reflect their feedback, and we've formally submitted them as part of the site plan application. There are a few differences from the initial, which I can discuss with you. But in all of the iterations that we explored, there were several common goals that the design sought to attain. The first was accentuating the prominent intersection of Great Neck Road and Albany Avenue. Being that the project was located in the heart of the North Amityville Vision Plan, and given that the building has 2 street frontages, it was important that each facade was given prominence. This was achieved by creating a 2-story metal panel and glass massing that extends along Albany Avenue and wraps the corner at Great Neck Road. From Albany Avenue, one would be able to see the ornamental staircase that you can see there depicted in the southeast elevation, and through the glass curtain wall facade. With the use of lighting, will create a dramatic effect. Inside the inverted corner at the intersection, we introduced a secondary volume, which is depicted by the darker colored metal panel that you see there. It further draws the eye to the feature, and the use of the more modern materials of metal panels is balanced by the use of more traditional materials like brick veneer over a stone water table along the Great Neck Road facade. The facade is further enhanced by the inclusion of stone pilasters and a band of brick soldier courses that create some more undulation and interest in the facade. These materials continue to clad the building once inside the site, as depicted in the northwest elevation. So if you want to go to the next page.
Okay, give him a minute, Matthew. Okay.
Yeah. Right, so they continue to wrap the corner of the building towards the northwest as it meets the building's entry point, which the building entry point is off the parking lot. The material transitions again to metal panels to give prominence by creating an entry tower that rises above the 2nd floor. This is evident in the northeast elevation, as you can see on your screen. As far as the colors, you can see that we selected a deep Merlot colored brick veneer as opposed to a more traditional red brick or fire engine brick to give the building a more modern yet timeless feel. We interchanged the color of the metal panels strategically to accentuate the building and its entrances. And we feel that using black trimmed window frames and copings will be a sophisticated contrast against these materials. So this concludes the overall discussion of the architecture, and I welcome any questions from the board that I may be able to answer in greater detail.
Okay, so why don't we, are there any of the board members that would like to ask a question or make a comment regarding the architecture? Jerry?
No question. The comment is, I like it.
Okay, well, there you go. Sometimes you just have to take yes as an answer.
Right. A fabulous job, just a beautiful job.
Ed, what are your thoughts?
I think it's going to enlighten the entire corner. It's really a beautiful job that they've done.
I agree with that. Julianne?
I absolutely agree. I think it's going to be great for the community, great compromise. I don't know if the applicant has had any meeting with community members, but I know with a lot of other applications. There was a lot of opposition. I can't imagine anything for this. It just looks beautiful and can hopefully bring in other businesses in that area now.
Michael?
What? Yes,
Michael,
yes.
do you have any questions?
Sorry. I was, somebody's calling in, so I apologize about that. I was just gonna say, I was just wondering if it's, but as far as sunlight is concerned, is it gonna shield some of the houses on the other side of it? Or is it gonna be a light problem there at all? I'm just curious if they think it's a rather big building. It's gorgeous, by the way, but I'm just wondering.
That's an interesting question, sir.
So if you go to the site plan.
Yeah.
So it's hard to understand the massing a little bit. However, the two-story portion of the building happens along Great Neck Road and Albany Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So the second floor is actually not a full second floor over the first floor. It's only half, it only takes up half the footprint. So the side that you're seeing, there you go. You can see it in the floor plans. So you can see that it's the one-story section that faces the residential street.
Residents.
Perfect. Okay. Dan, do you have any questions?
I do not. I'm very happy with everything.
Frank?
No, I do not. I want to reiterate what everyone else said. It's a beautiful looking building.
Yeah, no, we all appreciate the thought that's gone into this courthouse. And I think it's a statement that shows an enormous amount of thought and respect for the community and the purpose of the courthouse, which is to administer justice. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to touch on? You said you wanted to talk a little bit about the site plan?
No, I was just referring to the site plan to talk about the point that was made about the residences. So I think we made that point. So
All right.
I have no further comments unless there's other questions.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from Nelson Pub that wants to address the board?
Mr. Chairman, that would complete our presentation. We'd be happy to take any further questions from the board or from the public.
Let's go back to the site plan, and maybe you did touch on it, but now that we've seen the building, kind of just give us a sense of the flow of the building during the times that it'll be utilized between 9 and 5. Most of the activities occur early in the morning or midday.
Right. Yeah. The hours of operation are 9 to 5. We would expect, later morning, early afternoon to be, the most utilized times of the day, which actually, doesn't coincide with the peaks in the early mornings or later afternoons. So it actually has an offset on the traffic peaks on the surrounding roadways. So, and it's closed on the weekends. So there's no traffic generation on the weekends.
All right, very good.
Mr. Chairman, I do have one question.
Sure, Dan.
So during the construction phase, where is, and you might not have this answer yet, the anticipated entrance and exit for construction vehicles during that initial phase of building the facility?
Right, we're actually still ironing that out, and we're discussing that. The applicant has hired a construction manager, and we're working closely with planning on that.
Okay.
Initial conversation was on the Great Neck Road side. However, it's still to be determined.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to revisit the hours of operations again, I think it's important to share too that the court meets once a week. So the parking lot would only be fully parked on Fridays, whereas other times during the week, Monday through Thursday, it's going to be more lightly parked with those employees, staff members who are working in the offices.
Will this strictly be a courthouse? In other words, will all the employees be working there in some function related to the court, or will there be other uses?
So the first floor is considered the court ordinance department, it's the town's support department for the courtroom. The second floor is home to the civil service department in the town.
Okay.
So they would function separately.
Okay, thank you. That was important to state for the record. Are there any other questions that the board members have for the applicant? Okay, hearing none, is there anything else that the applicant would like to add?
No, Mr. Chairman, that would complete our presentation.
All right, thank you very much. Matthew, are there any members of the public that would like to address the board regarding this application and during this public hearing?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we did have 3 members of the public registered to participate tonight. I'm going to promote the first to a panelist. I have Marshall Carroll in the waiting room.
All right.
I'm going to promote right now to a panelist. And I'll just ask that you unmute yourself and or turn on your video so that you can address the board if you have any comments or questions.
Mr. Carroll.
Yes, good evening.
Okay, could you please state your name and address for the record?
My name is Marshall Carroll, and my address is 3417 Great Neck Road, and that's in Amityville, 11701.
I know we can't see you, but raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Okay, please proceed.
I think one of the questions were already answered. My main question was how the traffic will be handled with the construction of the building.
Okay, we will note that question for the record. And when we have more information from the applicant, that'll be shared with you. Obviously, they're thinking about how to do this in a way that has a minimum of impact.
Because my main concern is there is a
you got the
child care center across
right there.
I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead. Make that point.
Yeah, there's a child care center right across from there, and during the early morning hours, that's when school buses go across through Albany Avenue. A lot of traffic picks up around that 7, 8 o'clock area into the 9 o'clock area. And I know the gentleman that spoke about the times may not, they won't coincide, but there's just a concern that it may cause like a log jam because the traffic has increased on the in that area, specifically in that area over the past years that I've been here.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to bring to our attention?
Nothing I could think of at this
point. What do you think of the design and the idea of having a courthouse there as opposed to a 7-Eleven?
It's beautiful. It's definitely I was much more pleased than the 7-Eleven design.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much for bringing this to our attention, and we know that the planning department will be working closely with the applicant to ensure that whatever construction activity is going on there doesn't happen during that time when children are either being dropped off or picked up in the afternoon. Okay, thank you, sir. Who's next, Matt?
I'm just going to move Mr. Carroll back to an attendee, and then I will grab our next, let's see. There we go. And we have, I believe, only one other person registered. They're coming up as foster care and preventative programs. I don't see that they haven't named themselves, but I'm going to promote them to a panelist and let them introduce themselves.
Sure.
And I'll just ask that you unmute yourself. I'm going to direct you to do so as well.
Yes.
Hello, could you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, it's Yolanda Smith in 2 Floral Drive, Amityville, New York, 11701.
Okay, and are you here on behalf of foster care and preventative programs or just as an individual?
No, I'm sorry. That's my place of employment. I actually set up the Zoom was sent to me on that work phone. I apologize for that.
No, there's no reason to apologize. Thank you. Please address the board.
I just had two questions. One was I did hear the answer to about, I know the second level is going to have a higher tier, and someone did explain that would mostly be on Albany Avenue and I guess Great Neck side, but my house is actually the corner house directly across from the court building that's going to be placed there. So I wanted to, know if this, as we had asked before, if the sun, would be blocked from the, the high tier, but I think that I understand that that's going to be more on the side of Great Neck Road.
Okay, Matt, could you bring up the site plan where we could see Ms. Smith's house in relation to the building?
Sure. I'm going to bring up the aerial.
Okay, there we go. We have the aerial. Where is your house, Ms. Smith?
It's actually the corner. Yes, he's pointing at it now. It's that corner house right there.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to bring to our attention? We will ask the applicant to answer your question as soon as we finish with the public portion. You can, anything else?
Yes, the second question that I had was, is there going to be an entrance onto Floral Avenue to go into the parking lot also?
Okay. Matthew, where is the access, the ingress and the?
Sorry, am I unmuted? Yes, there's you can see the site plan on my screen. There is a right in, right out only curb cut on Great Neck Road, and then there is a full access curb cut on Floral Drive. It's a little bit further in. It's closer to Beta Drive. But there is a full access curb cut on Floral Drive.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it's the arrow.
Okay. All right, thank you. Ms. Smith, is there anything else that you'd like to bring to our attention?
No, I think those were the two questions I had for now.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much for coming and joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
What, seriously, I'll ask you the same question that I asked Mr. Carroll. What do you think about this, the courthouse, especially considering they were on the, they had been pushing for many years to have a 7-Eleven?
Yes, well, I was not pleased about the 7-Eleven at all. I had actually attended the hearing for that because, my concern was I have a young son, and, kids like to ride their bikes, and there's always, a lot of, people that stand up at 7-Elevens on the side and the back. So I had some safety concerns about my well-being as well as my son. And, his friends, and there's a lot of, kids in this area. So I was concerned about that. I would much rather it was apartments or houses there, but, I could take the courthouse opposed to a 7-Eleven, definitely.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Matthew, is there anyone else that would like to address the board?
I'm going to just move Ms. Smith back to an attendee, and I don't believe so. Let me double check.
Okay.
We did have 3 members of the public registered for tonight, but I only see a phone number in here, and I believe that phone number is a member of the applicant team, so I don't think there is anyone else in the waiting room, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go back to the applicant. Could you just, the one question was regarding, again, the effect of the 2-story building on Ms. Smith's house in that area? Let's just go through that one more time.
Sure, I can speak to that.
Sure.
So I actually wanted to address not only her comment, but Mr. Carroll's comment as well about the daycare.
Okay.
So I just wanted to address the fact that those 2 concerns were part of our initial concerns as well. trying to be very sensitive to the daycare center and their hours of operations. And being that it's a very residential area, we also wanted to be sensitive to those who are living in the community. And so for that reason, that's why we do not see a curb cut along Albany Avenue. We didn't, that was something that we thought through with the planning department. And having to have cars queuing onto Albany Avenue, which would be in front of the daycare center, would be problematic. And so the intention or the solution was to create the secondary access onto Floral Drive. That secondary access too, by the way, was something that came out of a traffic study and that was performed and also as a recommendation from New York State Department of Transportation. So we work closely with them and all parties involved, saying that a secondary access was something that was important to the maneuverability and safety of the site. But again, being that it is a residential community, that is the reason why we cited the building the way we did. We looked at initially several different iterations of where this building could be situated on the site. It's part of the reason why we're going for a front yard setback variance, because of the fact that we're holding that second floor closer to the Great Neck Road property line and closer to the Albany Avenue property line, because the minimum front yard setback, and I don't know if Ms. Smith or Mr. Carroll knows this, but the minimum front yard setback is actually 45 feet. Right. So that if we were to comply with that setback, it would push our building much closer to the residential zone, much closer to Mrs. Smith's house. So where the building is situated now, the footprint of the building is about 100 feet away, not taking into consideration the 50-foot town road, so about 150 feet away from her home. And then the second floor is set back even further, I would say another 30 feet. So almost 200 feet away from her house. So I don't see any concerns about blocking sunlight or feeling like there's a wall in front of her house at all. She's going to see, the view that she's going to see is going to be to the beautiful landscaping that's going to be surrounding the site.
Okay. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions from any of the board members?
No.
I just have a comment about the construction vehicles. I think that it should definitely go in off of the Great Neck Road entrance, because people that are heading south on Albany Avenue tend to get locked up at that light, and especially if they're making a left turn and the buses are making a right turn in for the daycare center. So if you have more construction vehicles then trying to make a left onto Floral Lane where there's already a line of traffic, I think that's just going to add more congestion rather than just going westbound and make that right turn in off of Great Neck Road.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions or comments from board members? Okay, hearing none. Matthew?
Sorry. So the revisions are currently in and under review by the various departments. The planning department recommends extending the record to May 3rd, 2021.
Okay. So I need a motion to extend the record to May 3rd, 2021. Motion by Ed Wen.
Motion
Seconded by Julianne Nolan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The extension is approved to May 3rd. We'll keep the record open to that. All right, thank you very much. That ends our public hearing. Denise?
Okay, so item B is work session site plan review for planning board job number 2006 AE Gaetano Pinello. But the first thing we have to do is go to page 6 on our reserved calendar.
Okay.
Public hearing date September 21st, and we'll have to close the record.
Okay, so we need a motion to close the record. I have a motion by Jerry O'Neill to close the record.
Motion.
Second by Dan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The record is closed.
So now we go to item C, resolution, neg deck site plan review, planning board job number 20-06 AE, Gaetano Pinello.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, yes.
Yes,
Rich?
I'll defer to Mr. Zatani for the neg deck, but in regard to the negative declaration and the site plan review,
Mhm.
it is dated the 15th and it's being redated today. So these resolutions, if acceptable, should be approved as amended, please.
As amended, which is to have the correct date, which is the 12th of April, 2021. Okay, fine. Do we need a motion to do that, Richard? To amend it, or could we just, you've stated it for the record, I'll just be,
It's going to be included in the motion approving it with the
Okay.
amendment of the date. So not a separate motion needed.
okay, fine. Environmental,
And yeah, our office reviewed the negative deck resolution. I believe everything is complete and accurate, and have no additional comments on it.
okay. So we need a motion to approve the negative declaration as of today, the 12th of April, 2021. Motion by Frank,
Motion to approve.
second by Julianne.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Item D, resolution, site plan review, planning board job number 20-06 AE, Gaetano Pinello.
Matthew, any questions, comments?
No, this is just this application was the second half of the multi-res development at the corner of Hawkins and Montauk Highway there. This added those storefronts and that problematic bar at the corner, and kind of added some buildings, one building rather, for additional apartments to that development. And the change of zone was approved by the town board. There are no other outstanding departmental comments.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve. Motion by Michael to approve. Second by Jerry.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the site plan is approved.
Okay. So we're gonna go to item E, work session subdivision, planning board job number 21-01B, Stanley Gilpin. We're gonna jump around a little bit. We have to go to page 3. There's a communication. Number 3, which is a letter dated April 1st, 2021 from Nicole Blanda to Patrick Halpin regarding planning board job number 21-01B, Stanley Gilpin, submitting a petition in support of the applicant's proposal.
Okay. Read and filed.
Now we're going to go to the addendum. Also, number 3 on communications, letter dated April 9th, 2021 from neighborhood residents to the Town of Babylon Planning Board regarding planning board job number 21-01B, Stanley Gilpin, expressing opposition to the applicant's proposal.
Okay. Read and filed.
Okay, so now we can go back to page 2. Item F, resolution, neg deck subdivision, planning board job number 21-01B, Stanley Gilpin.
Sorry, Denise, just before we do that, we do have to jump to page 8 then first to close the record.
Okay,
That's right, sorry.
it's okay.
We need a motion to close the record.
All right, so that's from March 29th.
Yep.
Job 20-01B, Stanley Gilpin, to close the record. Could I have a motion by Jerry O'Neill to close the record?
Motion.
Okay, motion to close, second by Dan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The record is closed.
Okay, so now we're gonna go back to page 2. Item F, neg deck subdivision, 21-01, Stanley Gilpin.
Matthew?
I'll defer to DEC regarding the neg deck, but this matter was the subdivision from 2 lots into 2 lots in order to construct one new single-family dwelling and then maintain an existing dwelling. all departmental comments have been satisfied, and the record has now been closed following the reading and filing of those prior communications.
Thank you very much. DEC.
And again, we recommend a negative declaration. It's a minor subdivision. There were no outstanding environmental issues as part of this application, and there'll be no environmental impact from the proposal.
Okay, thank you, Brian. All right, so we need a motion to approve the negative declaration. Motion by Edwin to approve.
Motion to approve?
Okay, second by Jerry O'Neill.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The resolution is approved.
Item G, resolution subdivision, planning board job number 21-01B, Stanley Gilpin.
Okay. All right. Do any of the board members have any questions? We've already gotten a report from Matthew. Okay, I have a motion by Michael to approve.
Motion.
Okay, a second by Frank.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item
Approved.
H, resolution modified site plan, planning board job number 17-13A, VIP Auto Group. First, we have to go down to communications number 5, memo dated April 6, 2021, from Rachel Shelfo, Commissioner of Planning, to Patrick Halpin regarding planning board job number 17-13A, VIP Auto Group, stating no objection to approval of modified site plan.
Okay, read and filed.
Now I have to make a motion on letter H.
Okay, Matthew.
So this application was just a modification to an existing approved site plan. This is the Subaru Service Center directly across the street from Town Hall here. And they simply wanted to reconfigure the site circulation and traffic flow for how vehicles entered the service center. They had previously entered through the rear of the building. It was a little confusing for patrons. Now they enter from the front of the building off of Sunrise Highway, off one of those curb cuts, and then exit off the rear. All departmental comments have been satisfied, and we have no objection to the approval of this modification.
Do any of the board members have any questions? No? Okay, motion to approve by Julianne.
Motion to approve.
Okay, second by Edwin.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved.
Okay, so I, architectural review, application number 136792, Dingle Bay Enterprises, construction of a new house.
Everything is in good order with this application, Mr. Chairman. This is a brand new 2-story colonial located on 9 Great Neck Road in Farmingdale.
All right, motion to approve by Frank.
Motion to approve.
Second by Dan.
Second.
All in favor?
And one
Aye.
abstention.
Approved.
And one abstention.
One abstention by Julianne Nolan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, application number 135824, Claudia Benson. And I can't even, Washek Zelkowski. Sorry if I messed that up. Expansion of an existing house.
Okay. Any, Matthew?
This home is located on 81 Hawthorne. It's a 2nd-story addition. The ZBA has approved any variances required. All other departmental comments are satisfied, and we have no objection to approval.
Do any of the board members have any questions? Okay, hearing none, motion, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Good.
No questions? All right, motion by Dan to
Motion.
approve. Second by Jerry to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Communications number 1, letter dated March 5th, 2021, from Charles Lewis to the Town of Avalon Planning Department regarding planning board job number 18-25A, Gail Grace Estates, expressing opposition to the applicant's proposal.
Read and filed.
Item 2, letter dated March 13th, 2021, from Linda Dara, John Fravola, James Ranker, Ryan McNeese, Margaret Tallman, Elizabeth Ranker, Linda Spacaro, Philip Rogan, Michelle Batista, Kathy Monroe, requesting a moratorium be placed moratorium be placed on the development of any new multifamily dwellings.
Read and filed.
Okay, we did number 3 already, so we're going to move to number 4. Letter dated March 18th, 2021, from the town of Huntington to the town of Babylon, stating adopted resolutions.
Okay, read and filed.
We did number 5 already, so we are going to move to the minutes of March 29th, 2021.
Hey, Michael?
There were 2 corrections. They were made yesterday and we went over them and they've been corrected.
And what could they be?
The word exiting was changed to existing on page 4 of 9, and the word comply was changed to the word complied. That was it.
I was wondering if you're going to check that tense on that one. You caught it.
So
Denise?
much pressure.
There's a lot of pressure. Okay. Motion by Michael to approve the minutes.
Yes. Motion.
Okay. Second by Jerry.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the minutes are approved.
So we're going to go to the reserve calendar, page 6. Planning board job number 18-25A, Gail Grace Estates of Copeg, modified.
Okay.
Bear
Matt?
with me. Yep, bear with me for a sec. I'm just going to pull up a site plan.
Thank you.
But as requested by the board, I did prepare a brief update for everyone.
Very good.
While these are loading, because they're big PDFs.
Take your time.
Just so everyone has the background, so the ZBA hearing on this application was on December 19th, 2020. The ZBA was not inclined to grant the use variance for 30 Baylon Avenue, which was the residential house to be demolished and used as a parking lot, and referred the application for findings in preparation of a denial for said use variance. The ZBA was willing to grant the variance for the 8-foot fence along the rear property line as per the neighbor's request. The applicant requested changes to the floor plans, which were reviewed by the ZBA, and the ZBA actually voted for approval of the variances and the change to the floor plans at their last meeting of Thursday, April 8th. The floor plans had been modified, originally approved as 16 one-bedroom units. The proposed changes were for 8 one-bedroom units and 8 one-bedroom units with a study or sitting area. In 6 of those units, the study sitting areas are part of the overall living space and are open concept. They have 7-foot wide openings directly into the living rooms and a secondary opening without a door off the hallway. Sorry, I'm still trying to open up these PDFs. In the other 2 units, the study sitting area is an extension of the master bedroom with a 7-foot wide opening off the master bedroom with no other access. The other 8 units will remain as originally approved. The proposed changes to the floor plan remain consistent with the original intent of 1-bedroom units with open concept floor plans and prior approvals for 1-bedroom units in the town. A modified site plan application is still required, even though 30 Baylon is no longer included in the application, in order to address some of the changes or discrepancies with the site plan, such as the change to certain fencing style and height, increase in sidewalk widths on Montauk Highway, adding ADA accessibility to the eastern entrance off of Baylon Avenue, and addressing discrepancies to HVAC unit and generator pad locations. At this time, the revised site plans are under review by various departments, and the planning department recommends extending the record to 4/26/2021. And I am still trying to open up these documents just to show you those floor plans and the site plan that are under review. So just give me a second here. I don't know why they're not popping up. Okay. So it's a bit of a large file, so it might lag a little bit, but I'm just going to pull up just so the planning board is aware of what the change to the floor plans were. So I'll pick this unit for an example and let me know if this is not clear, if I need to blow it up a little bit more. But the change that was made, the later or earlier iterations of this modified plan was proposing to add a den. Again, this kind of didn't really fit with the intent of the open concept floor plan. So you can see the site plans have, or the floor plans rather, have been modified. In 6 of the units, they have this study or sitting area directly off of the main living space. It has a 7-foot wide opening, no doorways or anything that connects directly to the living space, as well as a secondary entrance or doorway without a door or any framing, which leads directly into the hallway. There is no closet in this study or sitting area. They're doing built-in shelving. So this is not a space that could be easily converted to a second bedroom or any other concerns that were raised by members of the public. So that was done to 6 of the 8 units that have this study or sitting area. And if this PDF will cooperate with me, I can show you the one of 2 units where they added this sitting or study area directly off of the master bedroom. So again, not to be construed as a second bedroom or a converted space because it's tied directly to the master bedroom. Again, I apologize because these are large PDFs and they're lagging a little bit.
Yep.
Let me see if I can pull it up now for you. So again, this is one of those units where, one of 2 units where, again, the hallway leads to the master bedroom, and this sitting area or study, which has a 7-foot wide opening and is connected directly to the master bedroom, is proposed. And there is no other access to this room, so it's again not to be construed as a secondary bedroom or converted space. I'll just pull up here. Again, this is just the latest iteration of the site plan, which is still under review by the various departments. And as the planning department advises or recommends to extend the record to 4/26, while we continue to go over and address, but just so the board can see clearly here, the property of 30 Baylon has been removed from this application. So it's, again, the layout is for the most part as originally approved, with the main entrance or access coming off of Montauk Highway.
So what does that do to the garbage thing? Are we going back to someone having to move them in and out every day, or?
That's correct. As a result of that change and 30 Baylon no longer being added, it will go back to as originally approved for
with garbage cans on the street?
For garbage cans that would be located in an enclosure on the Baylon Avenue side of the building that would then be wheeled out to the street for curb pickup, and that would be done by the management company or the property manager. And then those, there are covenants and conditions relating to that as per the original approval, which will remain intact. All those previously approved or covenants and conditions remain intact as they're no longer impacted by the modification to the site plan. So the site plan's not really loading for me right now, but.
Okay. Great, thank you.
So was that house torn down? Was there a
No.
house?
No, it's still there.
Oh, the house is still there. Okay, why was I thinking there's some other one? Okay. So garbage cans on the street, the staff is recommending that.
Correct.
And the
That
commissioner is
was,
recommending that. She's going to put that in writing. I recommend putting garbage cans on the street.
that's coming, that would revert back to the original approval that has already been granted by this board based off the approved site plan that did not incorporate 30 Bay Lawn. So that would revert back to how it was.
So why are we even considering this now? If we've already approved it?
I touched on it before, but the modified site plan is required to address some minor changes to the site plan, such as the changes to the fence style and height. There was a discrepancy with the sidewalk lifts on Montauk Highway that have been widened. Where as a result of this change, they're adding some additional ADA accessibility to the east entrance because again, you need to have ADA compliance to access these garbage cans located on Baylon Avenue. And they were still kind of reviewing some of the discrepancies between the approved plans and what's going on in the field with regards to HVAC and the generator pad location. So that's still being reviewed and worked out by the departments. And we'll bring it back to the board's attention once we get all those comments addressed.
Has environmental approved this idea of putting garbage cans on the corner, on the street? So it wasn't that wasn't our finest hour as a planning board, I must tell you, but that's just me talking. That's me as an individual.
Unfortunately, since the town provides garbage service for residential and for commercial, we were very limited since without the modification adding the Baylon property, which would have alleviated the need for the can pickup. The town approved that sparingly. We do not really use it very often. It's only in extreme situations where there is quite literally no room for a proper refuse enclosure, or there's literally not access availability for our service trucks, which if anyone's front end loader are actually quite large and could not access the property. And legally, we don't put them on dumpsters right on the street for perpendicular access because there's literally no way to do it that close to the intersection from a traffic safety standpoint. So it was a compromise, and I think agreeably everyone said it was not a very good compromise, but it was essentially the only thing that was available to the town to provide refuse pickup for the site the way it was designed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any of the other board members have any questions? Julianne, go ahead.
The board, I mean, I remember this very clearly. We definitely were against the cans just being put on the sidewalk because of that corner, the amount of pedestrians, the vehicle traffic. And that was the applicant's solution, was to bring in property management to put them out and to retrieve them. So that's something that is going to have to be monitored because again, it's a high traffic area and coming around a corner and running into a garbage pail could be catastrophic.
I mean, the garbage can location is, I don't know, 50, 60 feet from the corner, if I remember correctly. And I actually just drove by there the other day. So I think that, unfortunately, that's something that we already approved and we'll just have to go back to it. And I'm positive that that community, seeing all the signs recently about the additional property that they didn't add the house to this, they'll keep an eye on it and let code enforcement know if there's an issue.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Thank you, Matt. So we need to extend the record. Is that what the recommendation is at this point?
That's correct. The planning department recommends extending the record to April 26th, 2021.
Okay. All right. So we need a motion to extend the record. Motion by Dan.
Motioned.
Second by Michael to extend the record. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Approved.
So public hearing date, August 3rd, 2020, planning board job number 20-21B, Renzon Holdings, LLC.
So revisions are currently under review. The planning department recommends extending the record to 4/19/21. I just don't think they made it through our process for this week, but I do believe they should be ready to go for the board's consideration next week.
Okay, motion by Frank to extend the record.
Motion to extend.
Second by Julianne.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved.
Public hearing date, November 16th, 2020, Planning Board Job Number 16-19AF, Acadia Republic Farmingdale LLC.
Revisions are still under review by the departments. Planning Department advises extending the record to May 3rd, 2021.
Okay. Motion by Jerry to extend the record,
Motion to extend?
second by Ed.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved.
Public hearing date, January 4th, 2021, Planning Board Job Number 20-07 ADIN, Bola Management Corp.
Also on this one, revised plans are under review. I think I'm waiting on Highway to comment. And the Planning Department has some comments regarding the signage. We advise extending the record to May 3rd, 2021.
Okay. Motion by Michael to extend the record,
Motion.
second by Julianne.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the record is extended.
Then move to the addendum, architecture review, application number 137116, Sylvia Barazuda, expansion of an existing home.
Matt?
This is 264 Burlington Avenue in Deer Park. It's actually right on the edge of the boundary of the town. It's simply a second-story addition. No variances were required, and all other departmental comments have been satisfied. So we have no objection to approval of this architectural review.
Okay, motion by Jerry to approve,
Motion?
second by Frank.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Application number 137215, John Alarda, expansion of an existing home.
418 Teddy Place, also a second-story addition where no variances were needed, and there are no outstanding departmental comments.
Okay. Motion by Michael to approve,
Motion to approve.
second by Jerry.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Amendment to the architectural review for application number 136642, Dingle Bay Enterprise, and it's for floor plan changes.
I think this might actually just be a typo. It's actually just elevation changes. But if you go back to the architectural review on our regular agenda for 9 Kevin Street, application 136792, also by Dingle Bay Enterprises. It's adjacent to this application, which was previously approved a few months ago. We just don't allow applicants to build the same exact house right next to each other. We wanted an architecturally different style. So the applicant amended this application to change the elevations so that they had different roof lines and kind of different aesthetics. So it's not the same exact house, but it has been reviewed by the various departments. The footprint and size of the home are exactly the same as originally approved. It's simply a change to the elevation, the front elevation and the roof line. So it's not identical to the adjacent home.
Okay. All right, motion by Frank.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve by Frank, second by Ed.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Do
One
we have one
abstention.
abstention? Is Julianne?
Thank you.
Yeah, one abstention? Okay. Julianne, no.
Okay, so now communications, letter dated March 13th, 2021 to the town of Babylon requesting a moratorium on multifamily dwellings from Tim McCarthy, Jeffrey Warren, Jennifer McCarthy, Sean McCarthy, Ken McCarthy, Andrew McCarthy, Cassidy McCarthy, Maureen McCarthy, Michael Shiova, and Colin Sereniero.
Read and filed.
Number 2, letter dated April 7th, 2021 from Andrew Meyerowitz and Diane Hawkshurst to the Town of Babylon Planning Department regarding Planning Board Job Number 18-25A, Gal Grace Estates, expressing opposition to the applicant's approval.
Read and filed.
And that's it on our addendum.
Okay. Is there anything else? Matthew?
No, Mr. Chairman, I believe we do have a meeting next Monday, the 19th. I don't believe we have any hearings on, but we will have business for the board's consideration.
Okay. Brian?
We have no new items for the board to bring to your attention.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Are any of the board members want to bring anything to the attention of our support staff members? Okay, hearing none, we need a motion to adjourn. Julianne?
Motion to adjourn at 8:07 PM.
8:07 PM. Second by Jerry O'Neill.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.